Today can be the start of a legendary career for Chicago Bears quarterback Justin Fields. Justin Fields will be playing the Miami Dolphins later on today at 1 p.m., so I will definitely be tuning in for that. But I honestly, after 4 months of anticipation, I'm very excited to see that Justin Fields will be stepping foot in Soldier Field for the first time in Chicago. And I know it's only preseason, but I really want to see what this kid has. And I honestly see a lot of potential in Justin Fields. Because here's the thing. Number one, Jimmy Graham and myself, basically when I saw the highlights of Justin Fields and, saw that he slipped down to the number 11, the number 11 position in the draft and everything like that, I'm thinking like, oh wow, we can actually get Justin Fields. And although it wasn't a very high chance we were going to get him, the fact that he slipped down in the draft and everything like that says, just says it all. That I'm very excited. But Justin Fields, in my opinion, he plays like Russell Wilson. Because I've seen his highlights in college, and honestly, I was amazed. Justin Fields threw 6 touchdown passes and 385 yards against the Tigers with Trevor Lawrence, the number 1 pick in the draft this year. And honestly, when you outplay the number 1 draft pick in any draft, I don't care. I think he's pretty damn good. And the fact that he outplayed and beat Trevor Lawrence, and I'm not talking about, he barely beat Trevor Lawrence. He dominated Trevor Lawrence. Like, statistically, he dominated him. Literally, the score was 48-21 when he beat the Tigers, the Clemson Tigers, with Trevor Lawrence as their quarterback. He outscored, he outplayed, and he out-hustled Trevor Lawrence that day. And I honestly can't wait to see what he does in a Chicago Bears uniform. Matt Nagy reportedly told the media today that Fields will be having a lot of reps today. And honestly, I'm trying to control my excitement. I really am. And I'm not trying to sound biased or anything. But I really think that Justin Fields can be a very good quarterback in this league. And I know what everyone is thinking. Oh, Cameron, you know how Ohio State quarterbacks are. Most of them are busts. Well, I don't think this one will be a bust, because if he outplays the number 1 draft pick in this year's NFL draft, I don't think that would consider Justin Fields a bust, in my opinion. Second, and most importantly, let me tell you what some of the players thought about Justin Fields. Allen Robinson is raving about Justin finally being on his football team, because, like I said before, Allen Robinson has had 2 pretty damn good years despite having inconsistent quarterback play. And I'm talking about guys like Nick Foles and Mitchell Trubisky. And no disrespect to them, but Trubisky, the reason why he could not excel as a Chicago Bear was because it wasn't even because of his inconsistent play. It was because of Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace basically rushing him to be the starting quarterback. And honestly, I don't want the Bears to make the same mistake. Justin Fields, the Bears need to give Justin Fields as much time as possible. I don't even care I'm not saying sit out the entire year, but give him as much time as possible. I do not want to see Justin Fields being rushed out there for week 1. Give him as much time as possible and let him get all of his, his nervous energy out of there. That's what the preseason is for. But do not start immediately for the regular season. That's all I got to say about that. But with Allen Robinson, with him raving about Justin Fields, when I say it's about time he gets a quarterback that knows what he's doing, Justin Fields knows what he's doing. This quarterback ran a 4.44 40-yard dash time. I believe he's a thinking quarterback, a very good thinking quarterback at that. He's very good at extending plays with his legs. He has a cannon for an arm, and honestly, I think he can be very good. I'm not saying he's going to be the next Russell Wilson, but I see a lot of comparisons to Russell Wilson, when it comes to Justin Fields. And with that combination of Robinson and Justin Fields on the same team, I think there's going to be some very good wins this year. Next, we have Jimmy Graham. And Jimmy Graham even said it himself. Jimmy Graham, let me give you a story about Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham, before he came to the Bears, he was with the Packers, he was with the New Orleans Saints, and he was with the Seattle Seahawks. And with the Seattle Seahawks, who did he play with? Russell Wilson. And Jimmy Graham said it himself that Justin Fields plays like Russell Wilson. And the fact that we basically stole Justin Fields in the draft as the number 11 pick, I'm very excited, honestly. Then next, we have Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney smiled when he caught a beautifully accurate deep ball from Justin Fields, because honestly, I feel like his first year here in Chicago was, I'm not saying it was wasted, but I don't think he lived up to his potential because of the inconsistent quarterback play last year. And now that I see that we're having seemingly a consistent quarterback, someone who knows how to accurately throw the ball deeply down the field, someone who could throw a medium pass, a short pass, I think Justin Fields is the real deal. But when Mooney smiled when he caught a beautifully accurate deep ball from Fields, he basically he said he never really got that last year from anybody except that one play from Trubisky against the Packers, but that was it. But every time he beat somebody, it seemed like Trubisky or Nick Foles just overthrew Darnell Mooney. And honestly, it honestly sucked last year. But I feel like this year is going to be different because of Justin Fields' skill set. Justin Fields, in my opinion, is a very smart quarterback. And guess what? He said it. He said himself that every time he makes a mistake, he always tries to get better from it. He always tries to turn his weaknesses into a strength, and I like that about Justin. I really think the kid is going to be a very good quarterback in this league. And honestly, like I said before in the intro of the video, I think today can be the start of a legendary career here in Chicago for Justin Fields. And honestly, I could see a whole bunch of 4,000-yard passing seasons from Justin Fields. I could see a lot of 30-plus passing touchdowns for Justin Fields. And, I could potentially see a lot of playoff appearances from Justin Fields in his career in Chicago. Hopefully we can keep him for his entire career, but only the future will tell. But I think the Bears really got a very good draft pick this year. And honestly, I feel ready for today at 1 p.m. against the Miami Dolphins. Now, I'm not gonna go too deeply in on the game. I really just talked all about the offense, but the defense, it seems like they are resurging from themselves. And in 2018, they brought out a turnover bucket in practice and everything like that. They have been recently going up against the Miami Dolphins. Akeem Hicks has been ripping through the offensive line of the Miami Dolphins. You see that Khalil Mack has been getting himself a few sacks in the backfield. And honestly, the Bears have been having pretty good practices. Andy Dalton, now, although I don't think he's the quarterback of the future for the Bears, I think he's been having some pretty good practices as well. But like I said, I think Justin Fields is the better quarterback. I really trust Justin Fields over Andy Dalton in the clutch. And honestly, I'm ready for this season. Football season is back. And like I said, Cameron Gooseby is back. I honestly can't wait to be covering the Bears this season. And I have a lot of optimism in my Chicago Bears. But with that being said, I would like for you guys to go ahead and leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I will see you guys later. And damn it, I can't even believe I'm about to say this, but it's been, about 8 months since I said this? But go Bears!